Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Christensen. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Christensen.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Christensen. If you're like me, this happens to you almost every first of the month. I know it happens every first of the year, every new year this happens. What do? We start a new diet. We challenge ourselves to eat better, to give up our favorite foods like sugar, chocolate, ice cream, all those goodies, and eat better and lose weight. I know it happens to me every first of the month, and it lasts till maybe about noon that day. And I say, okay, I'm going to recommit myself. Next month, I'm going to give up all my favorites, don't drink soda. That'll last until maybe the next day. Well, then I started the first of the month, next month. Well, we know that losing weight, eating healthy, tends to be kind of difficult, especially with all those advertisements on TV with those big, juicy burgers telling you what to eat and all those toasty fries and sodas. Well, guess what? The Bernalillo County Extension Service through New Mexico State University wants to help you and me. They have a way for us to eat better, to eat healthy, but not with goals that make us fail, but with goals that give us long-term results that stay. It's actually not what you put in your mouth, but it kind of what changes your mind. So please stay with us as we discuss the shift, 7 powerful mindset changes for lasting weight loss and to have a better life and a healthier life. So please stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
The National Education Association of New Mexico, a union of teachers and school staff, believes every child deserves to learn at a school that inspires their imagination, cultivates their curiosity, and ensures a fulfilling life. Public schools should provide all our students with small class sizes and one-on-one attention. NEA New Mexico asks you to join us so together we can end the teacher and staff shortage and invest in our public education system once and for all. Sponsored by NEA New Mexico.
Did you think about it during that commercial break that yes, you're a lot like me, that you try every first of the month to lose some weight? And even if you're successful, it doesn't stay off. Why? Well, because we go back probably to our old habits. And there's a lot of myths surrounding weight loss, like, if I make really big goals, I'll lose a lot of weight. Or, you know what, I can just do this all by myself. Also, if I fail, if I have a setback, if I eat that big hot fudge sundae that I thought about last night, if I eat that, I might as well give up because I'm a failure. Well, those are some myths that are not true, according to my guest. She is Dianne Christensen. Diane, thank you so much. She is an associate professor with New Mexico State University and Family and Consumer Science Agent through the Bernalillo County Cooperative Extension Service.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So, we talked about this, we talked about some various myths, but tell me a little bit about extension services. We're going to talk about losing weight, keeping it off, but also, what's the purpose of the extension service to help us live better lives?
Yes. The Cooperative Extension Service has a variety of programming, and it was actually established back in the time of Abraham Lincoln with land-grant universities, and New Mexico State is our land-grant university here in New Mexico. And they do the research, and then extension, it's our job to disseminate it to the public. So we do a lot of free classes around health and nutrition, 4-H, growing,
preserving food, a lot about food, exercise as well, a little bit of that.
Yes, a little bit of exercise.
And a lot of this is science-based.
Yes, that's the thing. That's how you can trust extension, is everything is research-based and evidence-based. And those are really important things because there's a lot of myths, as we're going to talk about today, out in the world. And so anything that extension puts out, you'll know, is based in research.
What we're going to talk about today, Diane Christensen, is a class that is offered through Bernalillo County Extension Services. A lot of the classes over the last 2 years, because of COVID, were remote classes, but now this one can be can be in person and remote as well?
Actually, this particular one is via Zoom. It's
Via Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's over the internet.
And why did Extension decide to come up with a book to help us about weight loss and keeping it off, lasting weight loss? Why did Extension, well, I know, I mean, I can answer it because I know we hear on TV and in the news all the time how obese New Mexicans are.
Yes, yes.
But let me hear it from the expert.
Well, we are charged with helping New Mexicans be healthy. And so, and really this book, I think, it really chronicles my own journey, to be honest with you. I gained and lost the same 30 pounds over and over and over in my life. And here I have a degree in it, and I thought, why can't I be succceassuccessful? And
what's your degree in?
It's nutrition. Yes, you know, if anyone should be able to be successful, it would be me. So I beat myself up a lot and was really entrenched in that diet mentality. And really what I came to is you can't have long-term behavior change until you have long-term thinking change. And that is essential. And so I love this book. This book was written in 2021, and it really it's based on cognitive behavioral therapy. It's research-based. It's written by a psychologist, Dr. Gary Foster. So it has some great information that for me personally has been very, very helpful.
And you're giving this, in this program may air after, but I think in June and through July, the Zoom classes.
Yes.
And before we get into the good nuts and bolts of this, which we're going to share with our viewers, how can people sign up for the class?
They can.
It's a 6-week class, I think?
Yes, they can call our extension office, which is 505-243-1386, or you can email bernalillo@nmsu.edu. If you'd give your name, your email address, and your phone number, and which class you're wanting to sign up for, they'll be happy to help you.
And this is what, $10? How much is this class?
Oh, this class is free. It's via Zoom. It actually starts tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Well, this is going to air quite a bit, so it starts June, I think, June 6th.
Yes, June 6th.
But it runs every Tuesday then?
Yes, it'll be every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So.
At 9 in the morning?
Yes.
So if you missed the first one, you can do it in
it's a
June
book club.
Through July. It's a book club.
It's a book club. So it's a lot of really great participants, and it's fun. It'll be fun to discuss these things.
Gosh, and free.
Yeah, totally free. So much with Extension is free. It's wonderful resources.
Sometimes you go, let's just put it all out there now. Sometimes you go to the office, and that's on Manal by the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, right?
We share that
What's the address?
It's 1510 Manal Extension Boulevard Northwest.
Okay, but for this class, this book club class, you don't have to go.
No, you'll just you just register, and then your own unique Zoom link will be sent to you. When it's time for the class, you just click on the link, and you'll be in the class.
But we're going to give you, which is good reinforcement of what we're going to tell folks today, and also encourage people to look at that link for Bernalillo County, the extension, to find other courses that are offered throughout the summer and then again in the fall. So we're going to, though, give the information today. They're not going to read the book. It's good to read the book. How do they get the book?
They can just order it online or go to a local bookstore. So
maybe the library. That's what I do with my book club.
The library, could have it as well. Yeah.
And library, I find now there's something called Libby and Overdrive with books.
Yes.
That you can get the book on your tablet or in your computer. I do it on my laptop without having to go to the library. So free, free, right?
Yes,
so you can find probably this at your library through Libby. Just another tip for folks. You knew about this. I didn't know about this. But okay, let's tell about kind of what people do. Like I said, I started the first of the month, the first of the year for sure. But I can't do it. But generally, before we get into the myths, why can't I? Why can't we?
As I said, I'm the poster child for that. And what it is this diet mentality. We have all of these negative things around diet mentality. And it's based on deprivation. If I beat myself up enough, if I'm really severe, I'll be able to lose weight. And that worked for me. I would lose the 30 pounds by doing all those things. But I would go back to my old way of eating, gain it all back again, sometimes more, and then I'd have to do it all over again. And so really what we teach at Extension is how, really I'm your coach, to help you integrate healthy habits into your lifestyle with your strengths, your personality. Everybody's different. And the other thing that impacts this is life changes. You know, you might move. That's a huge life impact. We have a lot of stressors in our life. Your work might get really busy. So you have to learn how to navigate that in the midst of all of it. I liken it to a tree with deep roots. Your healthy habits are your deep roots. So no matter if it's snowing or raining or whatever,
blowing here in New Mexico,
you know, you're grounded in your healthy habits. But it takes time. You know, I started this journey 11 years ago, and I've kept my weight off for 11 years. But I'm constantly growing and changing and learning, and so this is why you need support with books like this.
And that's one of the myths that we're going to overcome. You can't really do it on your own. You need support.
You do.
So, does this, and again, we're going to get into the myths, does it talk about having to give up your favorite foods? Like,
you know, that's one thing I love. Everything's on the menu. You know, I tell people I can eat whatever I want, and they're like, no way, you can't. And I'm like, yes, I can. I just can't eat as much or as often as I'd like. But I have learned to be mindful. Am I eating mindlessly because I'm nervous?
Yes.
Or whatever it is, or have I really thought about, I really want that piece of pie. I am going to have that piece of pie.
I deserve to have it
yes.
because I work so hard all
yes.
day long, and
yes,
that's my reward.
Yes.
That's the mindset I have.
Yes, and that's totally fine. People want to say, I don't deserve it. And I, as a coach, I've been a personal coach as well for 10 years. You do deserve it. You do work hard. It's true. Just plan for it. You know, it's called a planned indulgence. So you could plan on Sunday, I'm going to really be focused on healthy habits this week because Friday I really want to have pizza. So when Friday comes, you have the pizza. It tastes amazing because you've planned for it. You've looked forward to it for 5 days. And it's totally fine. Everything's on the menu. We just want to teach people to really think about it, plan for it, because when you do that, you're more satisfied. And research tells us that people who are more satisfied with their food eat less. So that's the gist of it.
And again, we're going to go through this, but what I have just recently, because the price of food, I was actually at the grocery store yesterday, and I ask, as I always do people complain about the prices? And they go, not really. Everything's high. You know, they don't. But interesting, the grocery store clerk said, I think this is making people paying more attention to the food they're eating, the price. Do we want to fill up on all those expensive snacks,
yes.
or the nutritional food that we need for our bodies? So I thought that was interesting.
Yes, that's certainly been the case
that
for me. There's certain things I just can't buy anymore. They're too expensive. But, you know, a lot of times there's this myth around, well, eating healthy is expensive. No. You know, protein and fruit, those things can be expensive, but a lot of times I'll walk out of the grocery store with produce to cook in a class for, you know, 20 people, and I've spent, I don't know, under $50. You know, so veggies are a deal. They continue to be a deal. And so that myth around, you know, eating healthy is expensive, it's really not, because you're not buying the chips, you're not buying the Coke, you're not buying, you know, you're really creating
process. I think it's all, Diane, it seems to me, all in the packaging. You look at even whatever, the chips, you look at it, you turn it upside down, it's all the label, and it's half a bag. It's and I think the cost of just the packaging is more expensive than the food inside.
Yeah, could well be.
And I think one other thing, and it may be in here, is regarding when you eat, you need to be mindful of actually that you're eating. Not reading the newspaper, not reading a book, not watching TV, not paying your bills when you're eating. But if you think that you're eating, because I have a friend of mine, I tell him, pay attention to what you're eating. So you know you're eating, and so you forget, oh, did I just eat that?
Yeah, it's kind of, I watch my dog eat, and he goes, oh, and it's gone, you know, and I think, am I the same way? And so
many of us are.
What you're talking about is mindfully eating. And so what that looks like is, as you sit down, just be grateful for the people who grew this food and the people that sourced it, that brought it to you. And then engage all of your senses. What does it taste like? What does it look like? What's the texture? What does it smell like? Just really engaging all of your senses, because again, when you're finished eating, you slow down for one thing, you're satisfied and you eat less. So mindfully eating is very
Is that part of this?
I don't think so, but that's just something we teach at Extension, is just to enjoy your food, pay attention and enjoy it.
Which I don't think Americans do.
No, we're always fast, fast, fast. But you can sit down for 10 minutes, and it's a really good break for you. You know, research tells us also, with the kinds of demands that we live in, we need to have restoration periods really about every 60 to 90 minutes. So eating mindfully can be that. You just need 5 to 10 minutes, and that really will reduce your stress if you have some kind of reset moments in your day.
But to eat during those reset moments?
Yeah, because you're eating mindfully. Anything
Okay.
you can do with mindfulness. Take a walk mindfully, any of those kinds of things.
Take a walk would be better for me, because sometimes I eat just to take a break from my work.
Right,
I'm
yes.
working, and I don't want to continue this paperwork, so I'll just eat to take a break from the work.
Yeah, a lot of times what I do is it's trying to get those healthy habits tied to activities of daily living. So when I'm working a lot in the office, every time I switch gears, I switch tasks, I get up, I take a walk around the office, or we have a little campus, so I walk around the campus, come back, and then I am refreshed, I'm ready to start the next task. It's under 5 minutes.
And you're not eating during
I'm
that
not
time.
eating.
But this is all mindful things, little tips that you're offering.
Yes.
Mindful instead of the
But
habit.
mindful but powerful. These are very powerful tips.
So the one, have to be tough. The myth is, I got to be tough on I got to be tough. I got to put down that diet soda, which actually I've done for 4 days now.
Yay!
Oh boy. Okay, so I got to be tough on myself. That's the myth. To lose weight.
Right, that's the myth, and in this book it actually tells us the reality that research tells us that people who are more self-compassionate with themselves are more successful. So I think a lot of people think, oh, self-compassion is just an excuse. No, self-compassion is when you speak to yourself as you would a good friend. So for example, if tomorrow you drink the diet soda, would I say, you are such a loser, I can't believe you drank the diet soda 5 days in? No. Would I say that to my friend? No, I would not. What I would say is, you did it for 4 days. One little day is not going to make a difference. What will help you to restart tomorrow? And that is self-compassion. It's speaking to yourself as you would a good friend. And I'll tell you what, it has been a game changer. It has been life-changing in my life. I was so severe on myself, and one day I was convicted with this thought, why aren't you as compassionate with yourself as you are with everyone else? And that was the beginning of a real change for me. So being kind to yourself is actually much more long-term and much more motivating than beating yourself up.
Another mindset shift is, if you see a setback as proof that you've blown it.
Yeah.
Like I say, when I start the diet at midnight and then end at noon, I blow and I give up until the next month. But it's just an opportunity to refocus.
It totally is, and we make over 200 food decisions a day. We can't possibly make them all in the right direction. But the key is consistency over perfection. If you make many of them in the right direction, you'll be successful. And so when you have a slip up, or you drink the diet soda on day 5, whatever it is, just stop. When you start to beat yourself up, stop and ask yourself, okay, maybe you've been out to dinner. You come home and you're stuffed and you think, ugh, why did I do that?
Right.
Yeah, just, you know.
I actually don't do that anymore. I don't, because
Yeah.
I know it's I mean, I'm not that stupid to keep doing that same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially at noon, people would eat big lunch. I don't eat at work lunches because you're tired in the afternoon.
Yes.
I go for a walk for lunch because I don't want to be groggy for 4 hours.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So
but if you find yourself starting to beat yourself up, you can just say, just time out. Okay, if I could do that differently, if I could do that over, what would I do differently? And then you say, well, you know, when they set down the chips, I wouldn't have eaten so many, and I would have saved, you know, my appetite for my food. Okay, second thing, what did I learn? I learned that I'm not going to eat as many chips. I'm going to give myself 5 and then no more. Okay, what are you going to do differently the next time? The next time, I'm going to give myself 5 chips, enjoy them, and wait for my meal. And you think you won't remember, but you absolutely do. And so when we have these slip-ups, or whatever you want to call them, they're not negative. They're teachers. They're wonderful teachers because they teach you how you can make healthy choices on your journey. And they are an absolute essential part of the fabric of change, is learning from our slip-ups.
they always bring the bread basket. Of course, here in New Mexico, the salsa and chips. And I eat with people, and they just eat the whole thing. And,
Yes.
So or the bread, the whole basket.
Yeah, because you're hungry. Yeah.
So then, but think about, if you do slip up, think about after the fact, what did I do and what will I do differently next time?
Yes. This actually works very well in all of life. Sometimes, you know, with parenting or in relationships, when something doesn't go quite well, just step back and say, okay, what would I do differently? What did I learn? What will I do differently next time? It's a great little tool.
I'm thinking they should have known that to begin with, right? Especially that big basket of chips. They should have known not to do it from the beginning.
But so much of our food decisions are emotion-based. So, you know, if you enter that Mexican restaurant starving, you've had a tough day at work, all those things, those are the things that impact what you're going to eat. Whereas if you had maybe an apple before you went, you didn't have a tough day, you're looking forward to being with your friends, probably going to make different food choices.
Interesting. Do you find a lot is stress-related? I mean, isn't the whole thing stress-related?
Oh, yeah, yeah, and it's emotional eating, and so
Emotional eating.
This is the thing. I think a lot of people think that emotional eating is like, you know, somebody died or there's this huge, big, you know, thing going on in your life. No, it's just the everyday routine emotions, and so one of the things that's been so important for me on this journey is just getting in touch with what I'm feeling. And am I bored? Am I overwhelmed? Am I tired? Am I frustrated? Am I angry? Am I stressed? Because all of those emotions, for many of us, lead us to food. And so getting in touch with what you're feeling and finding another way to meet that emotional need other than food, that is the game changer.
I think that's a big key.
And again, it's that
other
compassion.
ways to do.
That compassion. You know, I think of it no differently than when I had little children and they were flipping out and tired and crying. You know, I would, what do you need? Let's get your jammies on. Let's get you to bed. You know, and that's the idea. We are advocates for so many people in our lives, but we aren't for ourselves. And so, just understanding what you're feeling and finding a way that you can nurture yourself. This is really such a positive journey.
I was told when I had worked for Governor Gary Johnson that he taught me, not taught me, but told me, because I don't know if I learned it. He said most people overeat not because they're hungry, but because they're tired.
Yeah,
so if you're tired, go take a nap or go to bed. Don't eat. Well, and I find, I'm tired, so I eat.
Yeah, and I
instead of taking that rest.
Like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, my energy would start to go way down. So I think, oh, I need coffee. Oh, I need food. Oh, I need. You know what I finally realized at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? I was overwhelmed because the day was getting done, and I you know, had 100 things going on. So at 3 o'clock, I often will take 3 minutes of mindfulness, which is just breathing and being present. And it is amazing to me. That's what I needed. I just needed to stop for a few minutes, be mindful, and then I would get back to work. I could prioritize what I needed to finish for the end of the day, much more productive.
But how do you be mindful for 3 minutes? What do you do to be mindful?
I just have a little exercise that I do that I just lay down on the floor in my office, but you can sit in your chair. I close my eyes and I breathe deeply, and your belly should be going in and out, because a lot of times your brain just needs oxygen. And then I'll just stop and tell myself, you can put down everything you're doing right now. And I just kind of offload everything that's on my heart, that's running around in my brain. And then I just picture a cabin that we go to every summer, and I'm sitting on the porch and I envision, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What do I smell when I'm there? What am I feeling? And I just am in that place for 1 or 2 minutes, and then I breathe deeply, and then I'm back to reality. But the idea is to just tune into your senses. Mindfulness is not like, emptying your mind or anything. It's just being really present with where you are, or envisioning a place that you love is a similar thing. So that's a game changer.
We just have 2 more minutes to go.
Oh my goodness.
And we have a lot of other shifts. What are your other ones, of course, are take big steps. We know we shouldn't be doing that for big results. Need to fix your weakness. You hate your body. You deserve to do it alone. And you can feel good once you've lost the weight. So those are the myths. But what in the next 2 minutes would you like?
I think our American way is, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and and again, I was that person. I'm very determined and all of those things. But finally, when I began to reach out for the support of a group, that was really powerful. And I have stayed connected to groups over the last 11 years, and I think that's a big reason why I've kept my weight off, because you can't have long-term change without long-term support. And so I just want to encourage people. There are so many wonderful programs at Extension V. You can come on via Zoom. You can join us live. We're starting to go back to in-person programming. But just know, County Extension is just a wealth of information.
They'll put the address up again, the phone number.
You're great, good. We'd love to have you.
The phone number again to call?
505-243-1386. And if you'd like to just check out our programs, you can go to bernalilloextension.nmsu.edu to our website. And if you'd like to sign up for classes, you can email bernalillo@nmsu.edu.
Very good. My guest, Dianne Christensen, New Mexico State University Associate Professor of Family and Consumer Sciences, and she is an agent with the Extension Service. So thank you so much for these tips, and best of luck with your book club, and best of luck to all of us to eat healthier, starting now, not the first of the month. Thanks for watching. I'm Diane Kinderwater. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thousands of young people are dying from counterfeit prescription drugs laced with lethal doses of fentanyl. Many of them thought they were taking a legitimate prescription drug. Can you tell the difference? Thousands of young people are dying from counterfeit prescription drugs laced with lethal doses of fentanyl. Many of them thought they were taking a legitimate prescription drug. Can you tell the difference? Just one counterfeit pill laced with fentanyl can kill. And it did. Talk to your kids about the danger of fentanyl. Visit onepillkilled.org to learn more.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.